All right, we're going to take a look at a few of the questions on the benchmark review as we move forward here. On this first page, both of these equations can be used solving with InSolve. Again, you're going to have a calculator available to you on the test when you log in through Eduphoria. So you'll go to menu and then to algebra and then numerical solve for that. So make sure you use InSolve on the first two, anything that has an equation with one variable and an equal sign. When it comes to an inequality, you can do the same thing. You can use InSolve. You can change out your inequality symbol for an equal sign. You can plug that into InSolve, and then you should get an answer of 2/3. So you would have x, and you would know that x is 2/3. Now, that would help you eliminate answer choices A and B. But what that doesn't do is it doesn't allow you to know if it's greater than or less than. So what I would do then is pick a number that is greater than 2/3. So I would pick 1. And I would go back to my equation and say -4, open parentheses, 3x minus 5. But instead of x, I'm going to put a 1. So I'm going to say 3 times 1 minus 5 is less than 2, open parentheses, 3x. And again, instead of x, I'm going to put a 1 in parentheses plus 4. And then I'm going to let the calculator do the work, and the calculator is going to tell me true or false. If it says true, then my answer is greater than 2/3 because 1 was a solution to that equation. If it says false, then my answer would be D, less than 2/3. Okay, so plug in the equation into InSolve, and then change it back and pick a number that is greater than your answer. If that works, then you pick the greater than symbol. If it doesn't work, then you pick the less than symbol. Okay, and again here on any equations that we're solving for a specific variable, the first thing I would do is I would circle the variable I'm trying to solve for, and then I'm getting everything away from there. So my first step is to get rid of what was added, which was b. So I'm going to subtract b. So now I have y minus b equals mx. Again, I'm trying to get m by itself, so I'm going to divide by x to get rid of x. So then y minus b divided by x equals the slope. All right, when it comes to domain and range, domain, remember, is left to right. So when I see the word domain, I am thinking left to right. So I'm going to go left to right. And I want to ask myself, is there a boundary on the left? A boundary is a starting or a stopping point. In this case, we do have a boundary. We have an open circle right here. The next thing I want to look at is, do I have a boundary on the right? The answer is yes, there's a dot on the right-hand side. So I'm going to mark that as well. So my boundary numbers are -9 and +2. Now, what's important is what kind of dot I have. If you look here on the left, we have what's called an open dot. An open dot means that our symbol should only be less than. In the middle, because its domain is x. And then on the right, we have a closed dot. If we have a closed dot, it is less than or equal to. So we want -9 is less than x, which is less than or equal to +2, which is answer choice F. Again, as a reminder, G of x really stands for the letter Y. So that would be range. So we don't want to pick H or J, because H and J are both dealing with range. Okay, and again, same thing, range is the Y value, so I'm going to look at my highest Y value and my lowest Y value, which is right here. So my range is between 0 and 9. So I'm going to look here, and I'm going to look for 0 to 9. Well, this one says 0 to 28. That's not right. That has 0 to 9. That might be my answer. 28, no. And this says all real numbers less than 9. Well, that would be all negative numbers. And looking at my graph, there are no negative numbers, so that one has to be wrong. So my correct answer would be G. All right, same thing here. You're going to write an equation that matches the description. I think you can handle that one. On this one, If you look at all of our answer choices, every one of our answer choices in the form that we call point slope. So they're going to take a point in the slope. And if you look, the numbers they're using are 20 and 268. Well, that's the ordered pair right here. So the equation says y minus y1. Well, y1 is negative 268. So y minus negative 268 is really y plus 268 equals m. And then we would have to find the slope. And then we know that the next part would be x minus negative 20, which turns into x plus 20. So we need y plus 268. So this one's out, g's out, and j's out. Now I need to find the slope. To find slope, it would be y2, negative 196, minus y1, negative 268, divided by x2, negative 14, minus x1, negative 20. I would put that in my calculator, and I would get the answer 12, H. So my correct answer on that one would be H. Okay. Here, the same thing. You're going to find the change in y, change in x. So I'm going to find the change here and the change here. Again, use your calculator if you need to. From 12 to 0 goes down 12. From negative 7.5 to negative 3.5 is going up. It's getting more or closer to positive, so it's going up by 4. So it is negative 12 divided by 4 is my slope, which is negative 3. And the only one that has a slope of negative 3 is right there, A. Okay, on this one, you're going to find the zeros. So you're going to set the x value equal to 0, negative 3x equals negative 15. And then you're going to set 5y equal to negative 15. And then those answers, whatever x is where it should touch on the x-axis, and whatever y is where it should touch on the y-axis. Okay, again, as a function, remember our x can't repeat. All right, when we come to this situation, this is one that we looked at quickly earlier in the year. It says if p of x equals 5 in front of x squared plus 1 plus 16, what is the value of p of 11? Well, if you notice, x right here became 11 right here. So in this problem, I'm going to replace the x with an 11. So it's 5, open parentheses, 11 squared plus 1, close parentheses, plus 16. I put that in my calculator, and then it would give me the answer. So all I'm doing is replacing x in my equation, or in my expression, with 11. Okay, again, it's a function question. Okay, we're looking for the slope of a line. So again, to find slope, we have two options. One of the options is to do the opposite of the a value, which is connected to x, divided by the b value. So the opposite of 5 would be negative 5, and then b is negative 12. So it's negative 5 divided by negative 12, which changes to 5 over 12. And so our correct answer would be J. So it's the opposite of the A number. So the opposite of 5 is negative 5, and then the B number, negative 12. Okay, again, slope from 2 points. That's your y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. Okay, we're looking for slope there. All right, again, rate of change. Use your rise over your run. Again, pay attention to the numbers on the bottom and the numbers on the side. They may not be the same, so you can't just count boxes. Okay, again, rate of change. Change in the right side divided by change in the left side. Okay, we're finding y-intercept. That should be an easy one. Okay, here, we're talking about a real-life situation, and we want to know the range. Okay, the range is the y values. Okay, it says a set of weights includes a 4-pound barbell and 6 pairs of weight plates. Each pair of plates weighs 20 pounds. If X pairs of plates are added to the barbell, the total weight of the barbell can be found by representing this. What is the range of the function? So what we need to do is figure out what answers could be in there. So if you want to figure out the range answers, okay, there's 6 pairs of weight plates, so we're going to put the numbers 1 through 6 in for X. So I would say, and really you could put in 0 pairs. So you could start with 20 times 0 plus 4. Well, the answer to that is going to be 4. So our first Y value has to be 4. Then you would go back in and plug in 1 all the way down to 6. And you really don't need to plug them all in, but you need to realize that you should have that many answers. 20 times 6 plus 4 is 120 plus 4 is 124. So I should have numbers from 4 to 124, which is answer choice B. All right, again, the y-intercept is the initial value. So whatever we started with, that is the initial value. That's what the y-intercept represents, is the initial value. Okay, again, when we get to parallel, parallel means same slope. So the slope, if it says parallel, we want to steal that slope. So we're going to get rid of C and D. Now, what we do is we plug in our coordinates. Remember, this is X and this is Y. So I'm going to replace Y on answer choice A with negative 12. That's going to equal a negative 3/4. And instead of X, I'm going to use 12 and then minus 3. I put that in my calculator. It's going to tell me true or false. If the answer is true, I would circle A. If it says false, then I would change the back to a +3. And if it says true, I would circle that. So anytime we have parallel and a point, we want to steal the slope and we want to use those points in our equation to see if they work. Okay, here on this one, we want to do something a little different. We want to create a rough coordinate plane. It says, what is the slope and equation of a line that is perpendicular to the x-axis? So the x-axis is right here, and I need one that goes perpendicular. Perpendicular means that it goes through the x-axis, and I have a point of -4, 3. So -4, 3 is roughly right there. And if my line is perpendicular, that means it's going to go through the x-axis at a 90-degree angle, which makes this a vertical, undefined line that is at x equals -4. So we want undefined and x equals -4, which is answer choice H. Okay, again, we're finding slope. It's a scatter plot, but they've given us 2 ordered pairs, so we want to find the slope, y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. Okay, direct variation. Direct variation means a proportional equation. So it's 268 miles in 4 hours equals 938 miles in x hours. You can cross multiply 938 times 4, and that's going to equal 268x, and that's a terrible to put an x there. It should be a dot. You find that answer and you divide by 268. So cross multiply and then divide. Okay, again on a sequence, every sequence we're looking for A1. A1 is our first number, so the first number is 4. And then our equation tells us what happens to 4 every time we add 6. So 10, 16, 22, ... And it asks us to find the value of A3, which is the third number. So the third number is 16. Okay, again here find the slope, opposite of A divided by B, and then change it to perpendicular by flipping it and making it the opposite. Okay, again, you're looking for x-intercept. That should be explanatory on the x-axis where it crosses. Okay, with inequalities, we want to read the scenario. The scenario tells us she doesn't want to spend more than $30, so that means she can spend less than or equal to $30, so we can get rid of A and C. And then we know that roses are $3 and roses are represented by X, so we need 3X. So B would be our correct answer. Okay, on this one, when it comes here, we're looking at this, we want to look at the symbol. If there is a line under the sign, right here, that line, that arrow tells us that our graph needs to be solid. So I'm going to get rid of A and B because they are dashed or dotted lines. So I want a solid line. And then the second thing I want to do is I want to look at the symbol. The symbol says less than. That means shaded underneath. So on answer choice C, you can tell that the graph is shaded under the line, whereas with D, the graph gray is shaded above the line. So the correct answer is C. Okay, we're going to go to the next slide. Okay, here you need to create the line. So we're going to use slope and intercept and put a dot at 4. And then my rise over run is 1/3. So I'm going to go up 1, right 3, up 1, right 3. And I'm going to draw a line that would connect those points. And I want to go all the way from edge to edge on my screen. I'm making a solid line because there's a line under my sign. And then it says greater than, so I want to shade above. And I'm looking for the ordered pair, A through D, that is in the shaded area above that line. Or if the point is on the line. And then for our very last one, again, we want to look at that symbol. In this case, our symbol has a line under the sign, so we want solid, so we can get rid of A and get rid of D. It says greater than, so we want to shade above the line. Well, C is shaded below the line. So that cannot be our right answer. That one's wrong, but B is right because the shading is above the line. To find out if something is above the line, the easiest way to do it is to draw a man. If the man could stand or slide, he's above the line. Here, if I drew a man on the shaded sign, he would not be able to stand. He would fall to the ground, so he's on the less side. So C cannot be our answer. The answer is B. I hope this helps you. Good luck on the test. Do your best. Take your time. Use the calculators available.